Next topic is hemodynamics. The name itself indicates hemo means blood, dynamics means flow rate. Okay, velocity of blood and flow rate of blood. Okay, here two terms. Velocity is nothing but speed of movement of particles per unit time. Okay, velocity indicates speed of movement of particles per unit time, and flow indicates volume of fluid movement per unit time. Can you observe what is the difference between these two? Here velocity is telling about only speed. Okay, for example, I need to travel from point A to point B within 1 minute. Okay, so here I'm carrying some books, umbrella, some mobile phone, some handbag along with me from here to here within 1 minute. Okay, so my speed, so the velocity is only depends upon my speed, how much fast I am walking, that's it. My speed is equal to the book speed, mobile phone speed, handbag speed and umbrella speed. For all the particles, the speed, the velocity will be same. Okay, it doesn't depend upon all those things, it only depends upon the speed. Okay, here when coming to the flow, volume of fluid movement per unit time means whether I am walking alone or am I carrying anything with me. Means if I am carrying anything with me, I am carrying a bag, means the total volume is increasing, isn't it? So the flow is mainly depends upon the volume and velocity is mainly depends upon the speed. Okay, this flow and velocity of blood mainly depends upon the cross sectional area of the blood vessel. Here what is the mean by cross sectional area, we'll come to know. Okay, so blood is mainly circulating in the arteries, veins, venules and arterioles and capillaries. So these are all called as blood vessels. Okay, when we take a blood vessel into our hand and if we observe, it looks like a tube. Okay, like this only. Okay, it looks like a tube. For example, this is a blood vessel, and if we are cutting this, cutting it like this, the cross sectional area will come. The cross sectional area means the overall area of this part is called as a cross sectional area. The formula for cross sectional area is A equal to pi r square. Okay, and formula for the velocity equal to velocity V equal to Q by A. Q is nothing but flow and A is nothing but cross sectional area. V equal to Q by A. So V velocity is inversely proportional to the cross sectional area and flow is directly proportional to the cross sectional area. Okay, velocity is inversely proportional to the cross sectional area and velocity is directly proportional to the flow and flow is directly proportional to the cross sectional area. For example, cross sectional area increases, the velocity will be decreased and flow rate will be increases. If cross sectional area increases, the flow rate will be increased. Okay, so we will apply it to our blood vessels. Okay, here see, aorta is the major artery. Okay, major blood vessel, that is artery. It can be divided into arterioles, arteries, arterioles, and that arterioles further divided into capillaries. Okay, when we are measuring the velocity, the capillaries plays an important role. For example, if we cut this aorta and we calculate the cross sectional area, if we take cross sectional area of aorta and cross sectional area of the capillaries, which one will be more? Obviously the capillaries cross sectional area will be more. The number of capillaries are more. If we cut them and we just add up the cross sectional area of all those capillaries, it will become more than this major artery. So what is here? The cross sectional area is increasing in case of capillaries. So the cross sectional area increasing means the velocity of blood will be decreased in capillaries. So the cross sectional area of capillaries is more when compared to aorta, means the velocity will be reduced. Okay, the cross-sectional area is more means the flow rate will be increased. Okay, flow means volume of blood that is moving per unit time. Okay, so in the arterioles the velocity of blood is less and flow rate is more. This is very important thing. Why it is more in capillaries? Is there any importance for that? Obviously. For example, the blood is reached to the capillaries and these capillaries are innervated into the systemic tissues. There the exchange of gases and exchange of energies will be takes place. For example, if the velocity is more means the blood is moved away within a very fraction of time, means the blood will come and moved away from that tissues. Okay, so will it get enough time to exchange the gases and energies? So there is no proper exchange of gases and energy will be takes place. So that's why the velocity is less in capillaries. So then it will get enough time to exchange the gases and energy. Okay, this is the useful thing. And so the velocity of here the cross sectional area is less of aorta. So the cross sectional area is less means velocity will be more here. The velocity of the blood is more in aorta and it will be reduced in arterioles and it further decreased in capillaries. Again it reaches to the systemic tissues. From there again collected by the capillaries, means there also velocity the velocity is reduced and from it enters into the venules. In the venules further the velocity will be increased. From the venules to major veins the blood enters. So in the veins again the velocity will be increased. So the veins pump the blood into the right part of the heart. Okay, so at the near of the heart the blood velocity is more. Once it is reaching to the systemic tissues, the velocity of blood is gradually decreasing. Did you observe one thing? So the aorta is coming out from the heart and the veins are very near and that is directly entering into the major veins are directly entering into the heart. So near parts, very nearest parts of the heart, these veins and arteries, the velocity of blood is high when it is reaching to the systemic tissues. So upon the movement the blood velocity is slowly decreasing and by reaching the capillaries it is decreasing furthermore. So the velocity of blood in capillaries is very less compared to the aorta. Okay, clear? And next topic is Poiseuille's equation that shows R equal to 8 NL by pi R to the power of 4. Here R resembles resistance and N resembles viscosity of the blood and L it tells about the length of the blood vessel and R tells about the radius of the blood vessel. Okay. And flow Q equal to delta P by R. Delta P is nothing but mean arterial pressure minus right atrial pressure. Mean arterial pressure minus right atrial pressure by resistance. Okay. So here delta P is nothing but pressure gradient. Okay. And here resistance is mainly directly proportional to, from this equation, resistance is directly proportional to the viscosity and resistance is directly proportional to the length of the blood vessel and resistance is inversely proportional to the fourth time of the radius of that particular blood vessel and resistance is inversely proportional to the flow rate. Okay. For example, what will happen if blood become more viscous? It shows more resistance. Resistance means, for example, in a pipe water is moving. Water obviously less viscous, so it moves very fast. in the same pipe, if we are pumping honey is little more viscous compared to the water. So will it move fast? It is obviously showing the resistance against the flow. So resistance will be increased, depends upon the viscosity. And length, if the length is increased, for example, this is one blood vessel, and this is one blood vessel. Its length is 1 millimeter, and if we are narrowing the blood vessel and increasing its length to 2 mm, then what will happen? We are increasing the length. Ultimately, the diameter will be reduced, isn't it? If we increase the length, the diameter and the radius will be reduced. Ultimately, from the narrow pipe, if we send anything from the narrow pipe, it will be little hard to move along with that. So ultimately, if length increases, resistance increases. If diameter increases, so diameter means, when diameter increases, if the blood vessel become more wider. Okay, if it is become wider, then only the radius will be increased. When radius will be decreased, when it will become narrow. Okay, if the resistance is increased, means the diameter or radius of that particular blood vessel is decreased. Resistance is inversely proportional to the flow. If resistance is increased, there is a ultimately decreasing in the flow rate. Okay. So, viscosity of blood is mainly depends upon the hematocrit. Okay, hematocrit value. Viscosity of blood is mainly depends upon the hematocrit. What is mean by hematocrit? Hematocrit means the 99% of the RBC plus 1% of other proteins. So blood contains different cells, plasma and different cells. Okay, RBC, WBC, platelets and other proteins will also be present. 99% of the RBC plus 1% of other proteins is called as hematocrit. Okay, these hematocrit may changes in such conditions, in some diseased conditions. Okay, in anemic patient, if we take an anemic patient, what will happen? For him, the RBC levels will be decreased. So the RBC levels decreased means the blood become very thin. Okay, the viscosity will be reduced. If the viscosity reduces, resistance reduces. Ultimately, what will happen? Resistance reduces, the flow will be increased. Okay, in some cancerous situations, for example, the cancerous cells may produce different immunomodulators and other substances. So along with the RBC in the blood, other cells quantity will be increased. So the blood will become viscous. At that time, the resistance will be more in such patients. Okay, and arterioles are the fundamental units of causing in resistance. Okay, arterioles play a major role in the resistance. Okay, why? Because these arterioles only present the different receptors on it. Alpha 1 receptors in the skin and GIT. The blood vessels contains alpha 1 receptors. These alpha 1 receptors are sympathetic receptors. When sympathetic stimulation occurs, sympathetic nerve innervation takes place, that gets stimulated, that stimulates the alpha 1 receptor, and it activates the IP3 and DAG system. It finally leads to the increase the calcium amount. The calcium concentration increases inside the cell will leads to the contraction of that particular cell. So if blood vessels are mainly made up of smooth muscles, contraction of smooth muscles may lead to the reduced diameter. So there is a reduced radius. It leads to reduced radius may increase the resistance. If resistance increases, the flow rate will be decreased. Okay. And one more thing is the blood vessels which are present on the skeletal muscle, they mainly contain beta 2 receptors. So when beta 2 receptors are activated, they are G inhibitory receptors. G inhibitory protein get activated, that causes cyclic GMP get cyclic AMP inhibition. It causes contraction blocked, and increase diameter will be increased and radius will be increased, and resistance will be decreased, and the flow of blood will be ultimately increased. Okay.